But now I gotta take it off and do the girl makeup, but I wanted to join in and listen.
Oh, that's cool.
Love it. Kelly Johns, I used you're on one of my slides.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
Yes. And I messaged Laura, I was like, I need to use you on a few slides for an example.
Excited to see what this.
Kathy, I love the picture. I remember that. Saturday Night Live. Oh, Kathy, Michael.
All right, bye, Mandy. I'm leaving you.
All right.
You're in charge of all my social media, so I don't need to learn anything.
All right. I am going to try to pack in what basically is a 2-hour class into 1 hour. So I am recording this. So if you miss anything, I will post it, a link to it so that you can go back and refresh. And feel free to stop me at any time and ask a question or put it in the comment section. But I will do a Q&A at the end. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Share. Okay, can you guys all see that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So most of you guys know me on here, but I'm Sophia and Cruz's mom. They're both with ECT. They've been with Barbara. Sophia's been with Barbara for almost 10 years, so we've been around for a while. I started out at Children's Hospital, which is in Columbus, Ohio, doing.
Hey, okay, write something else.
I can. If everybody can mute themselves until they have a question, that's helpful, because I can hear this stuff. Okay. So did education outreach and marketing and PR for 10 years. Then Sean, my husband, got a job down in Atlanta. And so I came down and worked as a writer and doing marketing, PR, and events for Macaroni Kid, which is a e-newsletter, which is run by my PR mentor, Michelle Cisco, who's an entertainment publicist. So she was my real introduction into entertainment PR. Once I moved down here in Atlanta. Before that, I had done mostly corporate, but she hired me on to be junior publicist. So we did Vampire Diaries, Dead, Irony, Single T, who was on The Walking Dead, was one of our clients. She retired. I didn't want to go and work for a big firm because my kids were booking and I wanted to be able to choose my own clients and work when I wanted to.
Mandy,
so,
can you delete everybody? Can you mute everybody? Is that something you can do off of your end?
let me see.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Okay.
I'm hearing so much feedback.
Let me see.
You should be able to, Amanda.
Yeah, I think there is a way for you to.
I see that mutes me.
It's no good.
I'm trying to see.
I mean, I can mute everybody can mute themselves, I guess.
I'm just going through and muting people that aren't muted. 1 second. Okay. You guys can still hear me? Thumbs up? Okay. Let's share the video or share my screen again. All right, so again, I started Kelly Burns and I started Abuelita Burns in 2019. got a ton of really great clients that we work on social media with, as well as getting them press. And we work on branding and marketing a whole lot. So common questions that I normally get from actors that are just coming on with us. How do I brand myself? What should my image be on social media accounts? What's the best time to post? How often should I be posting? Who should I be following? Do filmmakers care about how many followers I have? How do I gain more followers? And how do I become a brand ambassador? Those are some pretty common questions. This is the short version to those answers. As far as branding yourself, we're going to go into that a little more in depth in a minute, but consistency is number one, the most important for branding. What should my image be on social media accounts? For an actor, it should be your headshot, and you should be using the same photo on every social media outlet you have, and I'll show you why a little bit later. When is the best time to post? For everyone, it's a little different. If you don't know how to do this, I'm happy to help you. Later, you can direct message me, but there's an analytics option that you have that's going to tell you the best times to post, who your audience is, all of that. So it's different for everybody, but typically if you think about when you look on Instagram or on social media, it's usually when you first wake up, it's usually when you're on your lunch break, and it's usually in the evening after dinner when you have a second to sit down. And you'll find, like, for my kids, it's like 12 and 3. Now that this quarantine has gone into effect, it's kind of all over the board. You really can pretty much post at any time, and it's gonna do well. How often should I be posting? I like for my actors to post once a day if possible. I know that that's hard for some, but I also don't want them to post content that's not good. So at least 3 times a week would be my second option for them, for you as well. Who should I be following on social media? Actors, studios, networks, writers, producers, show runners, your own agency. Me, if you'd like. I will follow back if you're with ECT. I like to support you guys. Do filmmakers care about how many followers you have? Sometimes. They'd be lying if they say that they don't. Check, because you have to remember that this is a business, and your followers, pardon my French, equals asses and seats. It's free advertising for them. If they have somebody that has 100,000 followers and somebody that has 1,000, and they know that they're going to get promotion out of you, and a lot of networks and studios are writing that into your contracts. I have several on ABC and NBC where they have written it in that they have to post so many times about the show. And then they usually are the ones curating that, sending it to us to make sure that we have all the hashtags correct and everything like that. But you're going to find that more and more as you book with major studios, especially network television, that is now becoming a requirement. But one of the actors that I have, it was his first ever gig on a show. He booked a series regular. He had 300 followers. And so that was one of the things we did, was work on getting those social media numbers up. So can you book a series regular role with no real social media following? Yes. Do they like to see that you have a good social media? Of course, that's only going to help them. So it's good to be working on it. How do I gain more followers on social media? A lot of hard work and engagement and real relationships and connecting with people, not by buying them. That can get you kicked off of social media, and it only actually hurts your numbers as far as engagement rates and where the Instagram sees you in the algorithm. You need people that are going to connect with you. And one of the questions on the ECT private page was, do I need to follow everybody back that follows me? And you don't. You can be selective. You can wait a week to decide and kind of see if what they're posting, is it somebody that you want to be associated with? Are they way, out there and you're like, I don't want to be seeing their posts all the time? Or is it a fellow actor who's engaged, who's liking your stuff and who's commenting with you? Those are the kinds of people that you want to follow back. It's okay to follow somebody and unfollow them if you noticed that they aren't engaging with you, because that they hurt your numbers by not engaging with you. So don't ever feel bad if you need to go through and get rid of people that you don't even recognize anymore. How do I become a brand ambassador? You email them and you DM them. It's the best people to go after, obviously, are for products that you're already using, or maybe you have the same mission statement. My daughter does a lot of environmental work, so she was posting a lot about not using plastic straws and doing a lot of awareness, so that when we reached out to those companies, they were able to look at her Instagram and see that indeed she had the same mission. And then they would either send her free product to post, or some of the companies would pay for a post. So before you reach out to somebody, don't just willy-nilly reach out to them. Make sure that it's a product that you want to endorse, that you see yourself using. Great ones would be like if you play sports and you have a lot of pictures of, or Instagram posts of you playing the actual sports, then go after some of those mom and pop shops that sell sporting equipment. Let them know that you're an actor. Let them know that you have a good engagement, and you can get a lot of free product that way. All right, tip 1, know your brand. Why is branding important? So I'm going to show you a picture, and it's not going to have the logo on it, and think in your head, just based on the colors and the images, what this brand is. You can unmute yourself if you want to say, what's the first thing that pops into your mind when you see
Starbucks.
Exactly. And you didn't even have to see the Starbucks logo to the color was the brand, and all of the images. And they've done that on purpose. So you need to remember that you as an actor are a business. And so all of your branding and marketing needs to be consistent, cohesive. You don't want to be putting out a bunch of different things that, don't represent you well as an actor. How do I brand myself? So I'm going to show you a kind of quick and easy shortcut way to think about how to brand yourself, what kind of characters you should be going after, what kind of headshots you should be getting, all of that. So step 1, find your type. Step 2 would be to find your essence. Step 3, put it together. So what do I mean by type? That's going to be your gender, your age range, and your physicality. And this is a great exercise to do with your acting peers, because we all see ourselves one way, and actually it's even better to do with a stranger in your acting class that doesn't know you well, that's not gonna try to stroke your ego, because you want a real and I would do it with more than one person to kind of see, especially for age range. A lot of people will post their headshots and say, what age range do you think I'm in? And that's important. So and you can give them a list of what age range they think you can play. Your essence is going to be like, do I look upper class, middle class? Do I look like a soccer mom? Do I look like I could be a cop? What is my essence when your first impression when you see me? And remember, this is not about who you are in real life. This is about how we're perceiving you. So don't get offended if they think you can play a little older, or if they say they think you can play a hobo. Own it. Work with what you got. So your socioeconomic essence: blue collar, white collar, poor, wealthy, middle class. So I'm going to show you a picture of one of our ECT actors, Laura Doman. When you see this picture, do you see her playing most? Anybody?
Like a teacher, librarian, friendly,
Yep.
friendly person.
Mom. Yep. Very good. What she was getting a lot. Mom, nurse, because that's how a lot of us see her. But after doing this assessment of and showing people some other pictures of her, obviously when we break this down, female, this age range was somebody else, but age range, her height, white collar, middle to upper class. But she's also kind of got that Italian, self-confident, self-serving kind of, she could do a little bit of an attitude. So within those characters, some of these I can see her playing and some I can't. But you can go through knowing, after you've done your assessment of and having friends kind of let you know how they see you, or if you know that you can play a certain way that you're not getting booked a lot for. She's getting a lot of mom and teacher and that, but she wants to do more agent, lobbyist, journalist, reporter, politician, even though they're still playing the mom, but being kind of that like Italian rough mom. So how does this help you? It helps in that when you are going to get your headshots, you can start thinking about other ways that you can show and represent yourself. Because even though you would think that casting directors, being that they're creatives, would have a wild imagination, but a lot of times you kind of have to put it out right there for them and show them how they can use you. And I can post this too, where you can fill in the blanks and kind of figure out what your brand is. So knowing that she wants to book more of that lawyer type role, got different headshots, changed her hair. Now you can see her not just as the mom, you can see her as a lawyer, which she ended up booking. She also booked an agent role. She could also, when you see her in this with the leather coat, you can see her as the Italian mom that just lost her, son to a, mafia hit or whatever. So putting that out there and showing those different sides of yourself is a great way to brand. Knowing what your range is, knowing your sweet spot, letting casting directors, producers, and directors know and help them imagine you in these other roles. So once you kind of find, okay, I can play mom, I can play cop, I can play all these different things, you start thinking about a brand avatar. So an avatar is going to be somebody that's an A-lister, a celebrity or an actor that you look up to, that is similar to you in look. So I picked for Laura, Katie Seagal. Also has that Italian look. She can go from mom, middle class, cop, mafia mom, back up to lawyer, high-end doctor instead of nurse, that kind of thing. So that is going to help you in branding, knowing what pictures to get, how to adjust your website and your social media to be showing these things. So get excited. You found out the easiest way to get CDs and agents and producers to know you and see you in different ways, know what different roles to cast you in. So that's just a quick and easy and brief, because we're moving fast, overview of a quick way to brand yourself. Again, any of this stuff, if you guys message me, I'm happy to talk more about. All right, so it's time to turn your brand message into visual images. You want to give casting a clear and easy way to know what to do with you at a quick glance. And that also translate into your social media, because as we know, they go and look there. So get headshots that represent your 3 to 5 brand avatars. Choose one that is the most commonly cast brand avatar. That is your brand, that is your bread and butter shot, the one that's getting you called in the most. Make that your profile picture and the main image on all of your social media platforms. Use your bread and butter shot as your profile image. Go to your auditions looking as close as you can to that picture. Being memorable is one of the best and easy ways that an actor can brand and be consistent. Don't be afraid to be specific with your brand. And what I mean by being specific is when you kind of look at your brand, obviously you can say woman or man, mom or dad. When you break it down into more specifics, such as soccer mom or Beverly Hills soccer mom, you start to see those are all moms, but I'm being specific about, you know, look that I can for the most. Let's see. Remember, it's your job, not theirs. If you leave it up to them to figure you out, they will just skip over you, which means you're missing massive amounts of opportunity. Tip 2, consistency on social media. So like I said before, as part of that branding, once you decide what your main picture is going to be, use that across all the platforms. Repetition is important for increasing your brand awareness and translate you getting called in more often. So one of the examples I found was Channing Tatum. This is his Facebook. He uses that same photo from Facebook to, I believe this was, you guys tell which avenue this is? Twitter?
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram as his photo. So using that same photo across all platforms is super important. If you're going to do a website, which I highly suggest, one, you need to make sure that you're getting your, I just had a brain. What is your .com? What is that?
Domain.
Domain. Sorry, I lost it for a minute. Every one of you should be getting a domain. A lot of times they're about $12 to $14.99 for the year. Even if you don't decide to do a website right this second, it's good to grab those. Because I've had an experience with actors who were virtually unknown, booked something major, tried to go get their domain. It had been released in deadline that they're the next, whatever it is, Marvel, DC comic person, and somebody goes out and buys your domain, holds it hostage, and you end up having to pay thousands of dollars for it if they'll sell it to you. So best to just get it now. So, and websites right now you can find that you can do it on Wix or anything like that for free. It's an opportunity for several things. One, you can control what they see. I would be going back to that branding. So if I tell a lot of kids that after I've talked to them about, their favorite things and everything, and they end up being a tomboy who likes to play in the mud and they're a girl and they are rough and tumble, and then their website is pink and rainbows and glitter, which doesn't fit who they are. So this is your opportunity to, once you do all of that branding homework, control the narrative, control what they see, make it exactly how you want. Show all of those pictures of the different characters you can play. And it's also an opportunity for you to link your Instagram and Twitter and all of those different accounts. So I highly recommend that you have one. Let's see. A lot of people just rely on their IMDb as their website, which is fine in the interim until you get one up and running. But the thing that I don't like about IMDb as a website is that you get the ads and the different things they're picking. So I don't know that I necessarily, when somebody comes to my kids' IMDb, want them, first thing they see is the Wendy's Tuscan chicken sandwich. So that they're that controls what people are seeing in the ads and stuff. So I just like to have another avenue of people to search. Okay. Tip 4, build relationships with actors and casting and producers. Who do you know? Identify your target, make your 50-50 list. So in the 50-50 list, you're writing down 50 people you already know. The casting directors that you know, the actors, the writers, the directors, the producers, anybody you know in that 50-50 list, that first 50, write them down. Then you become a detective, which I know all of you can do. So if you are already following them, I put a little check mark next to that 50-50 because there could be some that you know, but maybe you just never got around to following them. So find them on Facebook, find them on Twitter, Instagram, and before you start commenting and stuff, pay attention to what their interests and their likes are. So your goal is to know more people and create relationships so they know, like, and trust you, which I know Barbara talks about a lot, the casting directors that call you in because they know, like, and trust you. So the same goes on social media. Connect with them, make observations, ask questions about their interests or something they posted. Be genuine, be human, be a person, not an actor. Don't ask them for anything. All of that is super important. You don't want to kiss their butts. You want to, if they have a picture of their dog and you happen to have a dog too, it might be a great time to comment and say, your dog is adorable. I rescued my puppy last year, whatever, and kind of see if they respond. If they don't, move on to the next post and maybe comment later. But that's how you should start and form that relationship. Obviously, people you will see, especially like on shows on Ozark and things like that, Jason Bateman tends to rehire actors a lot that have used on other productions as well as cast or as crew. He brings people back, and that happens on multiple productions. So put your best foot forward. Who would you like to know? So the other part of the 50-50 list are people that you would like to know. Again, including casting and directors and writers, executives. And you kind of follow those same steps as trying to locate them, find them, seeing what their interests are. Remember, this is a courtship period. Don't stuff yourself in their face. I see a lot of that happening, and it's a turnoff. So don't do that. Tip 5, get noticed on social media. So a lot of them are parts of these like Atlanta Actors Community, a lot of those different pages. So join those groups, share their content, interact with them, retweet and repost things that you think are cool. Don't kiss their butts, and make thoughtful comments. We've had at least, I run my kids' social media, but I have noticed that with several celebrities, when they repost some of their content, they get that's how a lot of their conversations have started. So it's a great way to show your support. Tip 6, be interesting. So this is more getting into the nitty-gritty of how social media works and best practices. So your social media bio, so in your, and we talked about this a little on Kelly John's Zoom call, on your Instagram, you want to not only have your name, but you need to have your name / actor / if you're a chef / whatever that will fit that you are, as a way for people to search you. If you're a millennial and people are looking for millennial content and they type in Mandy millennial, not only will I filter into that feed, but other millennials will filter into that feed, and it's a way for people to search you. So you want to have actor as part of your social media bio. Let's see. Then if you don't have a website, I suggest you use your IMDb as the website link for now for that. Design your header and cover photos. If you have a YouTube channel, which I know a lot of you have or are starting, these are great for first impressions. This is a great real estate spot, so make sure that is consistent. I would use that header across all of your platforms if possible. Username consistency. If you are at Amanda_Abuelita, you want to be at _Amanda Abuelita when possible. I know that sometimes names aren't available, but as close as you can get it, whether it's missing an underscore or not, that you want them to be as similar as possible. I'm not a fan of having cutesy names as your username as an actor. Yes, they'll still be able to find you if you're kitty cat 123 and you have your name in your bio. If they search that name, it will come up. But I just think it looks more professional in my opinion, but you can do what you want. It makes it easier for your followers and fans to find you that way. Add follow buttons to your website. So if you do a website, make sure that you have everything that you run connected. You want everybody to be able to just continue to loop all through your platform. So if you have an email, I would put those links in your signature so that they can go. If they can get to YouTube, I want to be able to link to Instagram. If I'm on Instagram, I want to know that you have, all of those. So try to put as many links as possible. Add a watermark to your YouTube videos as part of your branding. That's pretty easy to do, which I can help anybody with that. Use your social media usernames on your business cards if you have those, for people to be able to find you. I talked about this just a second ago. Use your social icons on your signature. If anybody has ever gotten an email from Patrick Roper, he has an amazing signature. It has not only all of his social media links, it's got his reel linked, it's got everything you can imagine. And while we were doing his press run, many of the press outlets really appreciated having all those different things, because typically they'll email me and say, hey, I need photos of X, Y, and Z, and he had that all embedded in his email, and I'm just like, just refer to his email, it's all there, and they appreciated that. So do that. Try live tweeting. That is something I want all of you to be doing, especially right now. It's obvious to do it when you're on a show or something and you have something to promote, but right now it's an essential time for people to get to know you. So even if you're popping on for like 10 minutes just to say what you're doing in quarantine or whatever, it's a great time to be doing that. Taking over an influencer account. If you're guest starring on a TV, show. If they have an account, you can ask what they're doing to take over on their social media platforms, which will push people and fans to your page. I have people do ABPR takeovers where they're on set, where productions allow it, and show some behind the scenes stuff, and directors have come on, and they show their favorite crafty. They can show all different kinds of stuff, obviously with permission from production, but that's really fun to do. Host a follower contest for your film. So if you have something coming out, that's a great time to be doing, even if it's an AMC gift card so they can go watch it in the theater, you know, or a Target gift card to go buy candy so they can rent it from home, or whatever it is. Post consistently and strategically. When your visibility increases, so do your followers. You don't need to just tweet and post at random times. Find the prime time by doing your analytics. People like structure. So you'll notice, like with Kelly John's show, she posted on the same day at the same time, just like a TV show would air. They like that consistency. They like to know when it's coming and that it's coming. Engagement is key. Find like-minded people in the business to engage with every day. Reply, retweet, react. That is super important. For the algorithm, for Instagram's algorithm to work, you have to engage. You'll be pushed up higher in the feed, and more people will see you. So it's important. I know a lot of people are like, I don't have time, but if you can spend 5 minutes a day to just respond to people or DM them or whatever it is, do it. So this is a little more in depth. So when you do post, and people have asked about hashtags, when to use them, do they work? I always tell my clients to use a variation of hashtags. When you type in a hashtag, it pops up with how many times it's been used. So you don't want to use all of them that have millions of views. You want to have, I try to have at least half of them under 300,000. Let's see. People respond more to video content than to photos. Videos are a good way to intrigue your audience. I find this time and time again with mine. If you can post a video, that is always going to get more engagement than a single photo. If you're going to do a photo, I would do a carousel so that it's multiple photos so that they can swipe through. Those do better than a still static post. And again, it doesn't have to be high quality, high production video. It can just be a, letting people know what you're doing or teaching, and we'll get into that in a minute. Collaboration with others is key. Reach out to other accounts and see if they want to do a collab. So if you see an ECT actor who's a good friend that has 50,000 followers, you can ask them to do a collab and to do a shout out for you, and vice versa, and work together to kind of bring those numbers up that way. Your content obviously needs to be clear and interesting and quality. Let's see. 20 ways to increase your Instagram engagement. Obviously using the right hashtags, post when people are most active, ask questions in your captions. Again, that helps them engage. Always reply to the comments. That becomes more difficult as your following and your fan grows. Sometimes you'll have 10,000 comments. You obviously can't respond to all of them, but try to do as many as you can. Focus on making friends, not followers. You want people that are going to engage. So focus more on that than your numbers. Look who is following you. Tell people in your Insta story as soon as you share a new post. It's a good way to increase your engagement. So using that stories feature as much as you can, just say, hey, a new post is up. when you're running out of ideas of things to post, share fun photos, quotes, quizzes, fill in the blank. All of those do really well. Let's see. Ask people to reply to the comment of the last person you commented in. That helps build the community. Introduce yourself. Do giveaways. Post consistently. I mean, these are all pretty common sense stuff. Tips and tricks. So if you don't have the preview app, that's just one of many apps that you can get to run your analytics. You can also put in a whole bunch of photos and move them around, arrange them, make them look visually appealing to you. This is a very, very old analytic when we first started, when we only had 321 followers. But it told us, it gave us the information we needed as far as what days are best, what times. It was telling us 3 p.m. And 1 p.m. was good. It told us what our top hashtags were, which I don't recommend anymore. Over time, I've learned I don't recommend if you're a child actor or running the account of a child actor to put kid actor. Just put actor. It opens up a gateway to predators, and they tend to go to accounts that have kid anything in front of them. So just put actor. Actor, acting, but don't put the kid in front of it. That's my opinion. How can we make money on social media, which is why most of you probably came. But I did want to go over a lot of that, and I'm sorry it was so quick. It usually is spread out and all over a long time, but I do think that branding is super important and something that all of us can collectively do a better job at and make Barbara's job easier. So I did want to mention those things. Now, the making money part. There are, how many people are on the call? Many. So this is going to be specific, obviously, to you. So you really have to dig down deep and think outside the box. One of the first things that I ask clients is, do you want to educate or entertain? Both are perfectly fine to do and make money. Educational videos where you're teaching something tend to generate more revenue than entertaining. For entertaining videos like Kelly John's Bachelor Recaps or any of the recap videos, now that she has she posts to YouTube. On YouTube, to start generating and monetizing those videos, you have to have 1,000 followers and 4,000 minutes of watch time.
It's
So,
actually hours.
hours?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
4,000 hours, which it ends up being what, 240,000 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. She's hit that mark, so now she can start monetizing. She will have two choices for advertising. She can make people watch the ad that comes up on her YouTube, the full ad, which is how you make the money, or she can choose to have it where it skips the ad, which doesn't make you any money, or not as much money. I think it's a smaller percentage. So while she's trying to build a brand, I would suggest, even though for some people it's annoying to watch a whole ad, just to get some revenue started so that she can buy more expensive equipment or more advertising dollars on her Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I would do that for even just a little bit to make a little money, to pay for some advertising so that eventually she can, if she needs to, take off some of the ads or not have them be full ads. The reason why educational type things do well is typically with those, you are going to attract people with awareness about what your specific thing is. Say you're a chef, during this time, during the quarantine, like Chef Megan is doing all of these free live cooking dinner with Chef Megan. And it's getting people to see her, to like her, to know not only is she an actor, but she's a chef, and people are learning all of these new things from her. So I'll go into what I would do with Chef Megan, but you can typically then sell something at the end, which generates revenue. So the educational ones tend to bring more revenue just because you're going to end up probably selling an ebook or something. So what is your niche? So think about that. And you don't have to be a professional at whatever this is. So it could be voiceover actor, you're good at nails, you're great at hair, you're great at fixing cars, whatever it is that you can do. If it's acting and you are coaching currently, that would be a way to bring in revenue. So you need to think about that. Do you have a product to sell currently or not? A product to sell currently, meaning like, are you an artist and you have art to sell off? Do you sell clothes and you have clothes to sell off, that kind of thing? Do you have a special skill set, like I talked about, a chef or a teacher or whatever? And then you have to decide whether you want what you're doing to be educational, entertaining, funny, sarcastic, all of that. So some ways to make money, some of the ways that some of my clients make money, promote affiliate products. So that doesn't have to be a national brand. That could be within ECT, we've got people that own restaurants. We've got people that own all kinds of different things. You have other groups, family members. Somebody may own a tile company or whatever. So you can reach out to those people, not just the big companies, but some of the mom and pop shops that may not right now have a ton of advertising dollars to run a commercial on TV, but would be willing to spend $150 to $200 on you, sending you some product, having you create a commercial for them, quarantine style, and promoting a product for them. Another great way is to promote your own information and products, audiobooks, video courses. So platforms like Gumroad, Sellfy, Amazon, KDP make it easy for you to publish PDFs, MP3s. You set your own price. They take a small cut, but you can be creating that content right now and selling that and promoting it on social media. So we talked about the brand ambassador, using visual media to promote your crafts. So handmade crafts, art pieces, clothing, knitting, Etsy, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram are all great platforms for that. You can add links for them to be able to purchase, promoting your coaching or consulting service. So I have a ton of people doing all of those things right now as a source of extra income. This was just, I wanted to show you Kelly's, all of you should be subscribed to this, Kelly Johns, and her recap videos. This she does from home. She edits, tapes everything from home. I love this for her because she was getting cast most often, I think, as, you know, the pretty girl that was maybe the girlfriend or whatever, and nobody really knew that she had this comedy side to her. So it was a great avenue to be able to highlight this. And before the quarantine happened, we were getting ready to plan a bachelorette rooftop party where we were going to be inviting casting directors and such, which will happen once the quarantine is over, hopefully. But this gives me links and things to be able to, when I email them, to say, hey, check this out. She's super funny. We hope you can make the party, and it allows them to watch through all these and see that she's super funny. So getting that content up and out there is super important. now that she's got the numbers and the hours, she can start generating some revenue there. Megan McCarthy's with ECT that I was telling you about, doing the chef videos. She's been doing those every night. If I were her right now, I wouldn't be charging for those. I would just do the videos to bring awareness, to show that she's doing those. I would maybe even offer a free download of some recipes that she's put together. And then if you're not in the position to do this, you can go ahead and put out a webinar or a class and charge for it, or a cookbook and charge for it. Or you can take a little bit more time with steps 1 and 2 and really just be getting the awareness out there during this time, so that when this is all said and done and people are like, you're amazing, you kept me entertained, you're busy, heck yeah, I'm going to buy your cookbook. But you can jump to step 3 and 4. Your sales just may be a little higher with the more awareness you have. And remember, I think a lot of people are afraid to charge for classes or charge for products. But remember, not everybody is in the same boat financially. There's still people out there spending. There's people that still have an income coming in, that are working from home, and that want to support people, especially entertainers and actors, and help keep them afloat. So if you have something to offer, most likely I would buy it. Even if it was something I didn't need, I would probably buy it because I felt like it was the right thing to do during this time. Now you want them down the road to buy it because you have, because they want it. But don't be afraid. If you think that you could lead a really great beginner's cooking class for $20 a person and do it on Zoom, and that's going to make you a couple $100, do it. And send it out to your friends and family. Obviously post it to your social media platforms, and hopefully you pick up some people that aren't friends and family, but people want to help. If they're in the position to help, they want to do this. So don't feel bad about promoting a product you have, or selling a product or service that you have. We have a lot of people that are amazing, and this was just another example of, I have a friend who is a makeup artist. She's a single mom. She is really, really struggling right now. She's an amazing makeup artist. So is doing makeup tutorials. But I said, once you get, you do the tutorials, let them know that you're amazing and you have amazing quality, but then start booking those bridal makeup consultations, or pre-book, and give them, a discount for booking in advance. And I did post for her on ECT. She works on a lot of productions, and she got people to do that. So again, don't feel bad about selling a service right now. So I'm going to open it up to some Q&A and some questions, and see what you guys, hold on, have to ask, because I went through that pretty fast. All right, let me look through. Can you please clarify what qualifies as engagement? So Instagram in particular qualifies engagement as usually 3 words. So if somebody says, you post a picture and they're like that, or they just put like 3 emojis, that doesn't really count. You want them to say, that's a really cool photo. You want them to give you a sentence, or at least 3 words, is when Instagram starts counting it as a true engagement. So you want that on your own page, but you also want to do that for other people. It has to be back and forth. Then you'll see your engagement rate go up. I have clients that have 10,000 followers, but their engagement rate is 1% because 9,000 of those followers aren't engaging with them. It would be better for them to take them out and have fewer followers and their engagement rate be up. As far as me trying to get them like brand ambassador opportunities, because when I reach out for my clients to do brand ambassador, one of the first questions always is, what's their engagement rate? I've been able to get people paid when they only have like 1,000 followers, but their engagement rate was at 7%, which is really good for engagement rate. And they've got paid just based on, they know, even though their numbers are smaller, they know that when they post something, they're going to get a ton of people to respond, repost, comment, share, all of that. So there's some different apps you can use to get rid of ghost followers. I'm not a fan of the follow groups because a lot of times are the loops, because one, a lot of people will follow or unfollow. I don't mind the loops as much if they're actors, like say our ECT group did a follow loop. I know, or I would hope, that all of the people in ECT that would come and follow would stay and would engage. I wouldn't be as inclined to do one that was just some random one that I think just would probably follow and unfollow. So, questions for kid actors. I don't know what that means. You can unmute yourself or retype. I'm not sure what that means. Facebook necessary for kid actors. I think all social media is great for all actors. You just need to be, obviously, an adult needs to be running it. They aren't supposed to necessarily have an account unless, well, Instagram does, you're not supposed to have one unless you're 13 or above. But if you're an actor and you put in there that it's a parent run account or whatever, they're letting it slide. But yeah, I think it's important to have on there, but just be aware of what you're posting, be safe, don't post with their school uniform on, anything that identifies where you live. I'm not a huge fan of like cheerleader poses where they've got like their legs up and extended and all of that. Just all of that I kind of steer away from. Bare feet, you would be surprised. So I just like to keep it, I mean, even on Instagram, the closer your like the more that they can see just your face, like those images for facial recognition things, just they do better than a photo that's you far away or group photos with you. The clients that I have that have 500,000 followers, the photos that are just of them always do better than the photos of them with their family or a group of people, because most of those fans are coming there to see them and not their family. So you just kind of have to play around with that. But yeah, I think it's important. Do you recommend an app that keeps track of the follow unfollowers? I go back and forth on that. I think you can get really caught up on if somebody unfollows you and you take it personally and you let it get you down. So what'd you say?
Your picture disappeared. I can't see you.
You can't see me?
No, the camera's on, but I don't see, the image went away.
Can everybody else see me? Yeah?
Okay. Uh-oh. Something's going on. Let's see. Oh, there we are. Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So again, I think keeping track, like always going on there and seeing like who unfollowed me or whatever, I tend to just not care too much about it and just focus more on my own content that I'm putting out. I do, however, go through and check every once in a while. Like I'll go through and click on people and just quickly, if you click on who they're following, and you type in your name, if you don't pop up, it means they're not following you anymore. So I'll just unfollow them unless I'm interested in what, I mean, you don't need to get too petty about like, you have to follow me or whatever. Like if you want to follow me, follow me. If not, whatever. Typically I will unfollow them though, because if they've unfollowed me, they've likely aren't engaging with me anymore. So that I'd rather lose the follower and keep my engagement rate up than to keep my follower numbers up. Let's see. How important is social media for older actors? I mean, it's free advertise. It's one of the many things that is free to you to use to put yourself out there. It's free advertising. It's a way for people to engage with you. It's a way for hopefully potential fans and followers and everything to get to know you. Now, what you post and you use for content, I think that everybody needs to 100%. Somebody else asked me this about, should you have 2 different accounts? If you want to post about a random hamburger that you ate at a restaurant and just random stuff, I tell people to have and many actors do this, have a private account that they only share. They can have it be kitty cat 123 so nobody can find them. Don't use your profile picture. Only give the information out to your close family and friends. A lot of A-list celebrities do this. You can do it as well. If you want to have, you're just dying to have you want to post about it. But for your acting page, I feel like that needs to be separate and super professional. It's your brand. Every time you post something, you should be thinking just as if you were Starbucks. Is this something that's interesting? Is this something that I'm going to get people to comment about? Are they going to engage with me about? And again, it's also a way for you to see some revenue come in. So there's so many of you with so many talents outside of acting. So feel free to DM me, message me and say, hey, I have this idea, or this is a job that I used to do. This is something that I've been selling. Can you help me kind of brainstorm some ideas of how I could translate that into some dollars off social media or whatever. I'm happy to do that. I know a lot of people are struggling right now. So I'm here to help you. I want you guys to use me and to email me if you just need, a Kickstarter, Jumpstart, or anything to help, get your ideas out there. But is social media important? I 100% say yes. I've seen many of my actors make money off of it. I've had casting people reach out to us that follow our page, that see somebody or a post we've done or a video that we've done and say, hey, we have a casting coming up. Who's their agent again? And then I send it on to Barbara. So they're watching, they're looking. The actors that we have that are in TV and film, when we do those watch parties, I'm sending out emails to casting directors, inviting them to watch parties, viewing parties, screenings at movie theaters. They're all excited about the fact that Atlanta Talent is booking bigger stuff, that we're able to get some press, not only about you, but about Atlanta. So people are paying attention. People are at home. People are on social media. People are watching and looking now more than ever. So if you've got some content that you were thinking about getting out that you've just put on the back burner and you're like, oh, I just have an iPhone, I don't have expensive equipment. Either does Kelly. Kelly's using her iPhone and getting tens of thousands of views on her video. So it's just taking that step, taking that leap of faith and just doing it, converting your ideas into motion. So yeah. Anybody else you can unmute yourself if you have questions. I hate just talking to myself. I see your messages on the side, but I'm like, I miss talking to you guys. Okay, let's say you don't have a lot of on-set photos or legit announcements about TV shows. What sort of posts would you recommend to look professional and build a brand? Um, there's a ton of ton of my actors that are in hiatus from projects. There's so many different examples of things that you can do. Miley Stone does TikTok dance videos that get thousands and thousands of views. I've seen people even just doing live, just do the Instagram live. You can have another actor on. You can, and I can show you guys if you message me how to do that if you don't know how. But if you do an Instagram live, and you tell the person, come watch my Instagram live, you can hit invite. They accept your invitation, and then it's the split screen like you see with Sips with Stillwell or whatever when it's two different people. So reach out to another actor and say, hey, let's do, Tea with Tammy, where we talk about all the gossip about whatever, or a show that you guys are both watching, or Tiger King, or how you prepare, what are you doing with your kids, a fun activity that you're doing with your kids. We've got, who is it, Luke Speakman, who's like 6, who's doing like science experiments that people think are awesome. So it's going to be different for everybody. So you kind of have to look at what you're able to do right now in quarantine, being at home. You're limited, you're at home, but just getting creative at, so posting questions are always going to do well. You'll see a ton of like, pick a quarantine house. I saw one today and it had 6 different quarantine houses, and one had a pool, one had Netflix and lots of snacks, and people had to choose. And that post was getting a bazillion different comments because people are like, that it was something fun to do. I just posted yesterday Peloton or Nordic track bike or whatever, and had like 60 comments. So you don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it, because people are really bored right now and people just want to be engaged. So ask, if you see a funny meme, or especially a meme that asks a question where you're going to get them to engage with you, repost it. Like, I'm not real concerned right now about, during our normal time, about having it be super visually appealing, and like some people do different, the way they post, it'll be a quote and a picture and then a quote, and like keeping it like that. Right now, you just want to have people engage with you, get to know you. You can repost old stuff. So if you do a flashback, so if you had been on a TV show or a video, say, hey, while you go binge Drop Dead Diva, and I'm in episode 5, by the way, and maybe do a picture of that. If you haven't been anything, do posts or have somebody on with ECT, do a live chat with somebody that's maybe more experienced with you and talk about their journey. You could have your coach on and talk about, what should actors be doing? I mean, the ideas are endless. It's just about get on there and start posting, start doing videos. I have a manager that her and her daughter, since quarantine started, have done a quarantine TikTok video every day since quarantine started. And then after they're done, after this is all said and done, however many they have, they're going to splice them together and put them up on YouTube. Whether it's just a memory for them to have for all time, or it does something or goes by or whatever, is yet to be determined, but it's a way for them to bypass time. And now they've got every comment that I see is like, we can't wait for next week. They're not professional dancers. They're not, it's just a mom and a daughter that are quarantined at home, but they were consistent about it, and they did those videos daily, and it keeps people coming back. It keeps them interested. So don't focus too much on that it has to be specific about your acting career. right now. It can be fun stuff. It can be something that you're selling. You could be saying, yes, I'm an actor, but I'm also a knitter. Check this out. And hey, by the way, here's a link to my Etsy that you can go purchase one. So we like hearing your calming voice. I feel like I'm talking super fast. I've had lots of coffee today. At what point do you get someone to manage your social media for you? Yeah, I run a lot of social media accounts. You definitely, it's a good time to do when you've booked something major and you need for the content to be super on point. I mean, if you're like on a network TV show or you've done a major studio film that's about to come out, you want that you want to build and grow on that as much as you can. That's what we did for Lexi. She had, it wasn't a huge part in Avengers Endgame. It was a secret role. She had 300 followers. It took me a month to be able to get her on the red carpet because it wasn't in her contract. I had to go back and forth negotiating. Can she be on, but just not do press? Can she, and we got her on that one and like 4 other red carpets after that. 2 of the movies she wasn't even in, you can take a small role in a significant project and make the most of it, especially in Atlanta where they're hungry to interview actors. I've had numerous co-star roles, not lead roles, on 11 Alive, CBS 46, all of those. They want to get the word out there that Atlanta actors are booking and that the talent is here. We're not just a location state. We're a talent state. You don't need to fly in people from LA and New York. They're hungry for that. So it makes my job really easy once you do book something, because then I'm just writing press releases. I'm contacting designers to get you comps on red carpets, all that fun stuff. But if you are horrible at social media, you just don't have the time. There's a lot of clients where their parents are like, they just don't have time to do it. So then they'll ask me to help. So it just depends. I either try to teach them the best I can so that they can do it on their own. But I do step in if they need help. So that was from Kelly. Yeah, you can message me and I can see if there's some tips I can give you so that you can do it on your own and not have to pay somebody. But it depends on where you guys are in your career, like what the bookings look like and all of that. So I can chat with you. When is it okay to post pics from shows that we've been on? You typically once it's aired. I tell my clients when they go on, there's usually a unit publicist. You can ask your second AD if the call sheet doesn't have the unit publicist listed. The second AD usually has the contact for them. And that's usually who I reach out to or have them ask, like, is this okay to post? Usually if it's like for a major TV show or film, they have a photographer that goes around and gives the actors the pictures that they want them to post. So if you're on something major and have a pretty significant role, I usually let the set photographers handle the pictures. If you have anything, it usually needs to be not in wardrobe or you need special permission. And that's just asking. If you don't have permission, don't assume, don't post it until the show comes out, is the simple answer. Just wait for it to come out unless you've asked and gotten special permission.
So I have a question, Amanda, on that.
Yeah.
Just piggybacking. So for commercials, there's a commercial that I did, and actually one of the makeup artists said she saw it, I guess about a week or so ago, and I'm trying to find it. How do you track those things down? And they took a couple of behind-the-scenes pics of me, and I know that it's out there to choose. And thank you, Barbara. Just get that out too. you know,
Are you asking how to find the commercial?
how to find that, and then also I wanted it for you all to be able to utilize, and all I have are pictures, a couple pictures offset or behind, but just to see. And it's the second one I've done. I did one last year, and I did send an email, and I think I even talked to Barbara. How do you locate this? Because they did not have a call sheet.
Right. Some of
This
you
is
can
something.
you guys can put in the comments too. I know some of you what is that, the commercial one that you search? It's like
iSpot, I think.
iSpot. iSpot is a good place to look.
Do you? I don't know about them or saw them. Do you have to have an account? Do you pay for that iSpot?
I don't think so. I remember looking on iSpot, and I know I don't. Yeah, it's free. I was gonna say I don't remember paying for anything. I usually typically find them. I'll try to search on YouTube because commercials get posted a lot on YouTube through the company. If I still have a production email, sometimes I'll just email and say, "Hey, I heard it came out. Am I able to get a copy?" I've gotten a lot that way. Yeah, I mean, those are the best. Like, try iSpot, YouTube, or emailing the production for a copy. Or if you said the makeup artist saw it, I would ask her where she saw it.
I think she said she saw it on their website.
Yeah,
On the website.
yeah. If you can find it on their website, I can help you pull. I can help pull things off for people. If it's on a website, if you don't have the software to do that, if anybody finds something somewhere and they need it pulled off, just message me the website and what you're looking for, and I can pull it off.
They did not have a call sheet, so it's not able to really get what the name of that particular segment or video or commercial is.
Okay. I wonder if Barbara has maybe an email to a contact like casting or something that might have it.
Okay.
You said, I never want to take photos on set, even
Thank you.
comedy sets, because I don't want to look amateurish, but then you have no photos or yeah. The photos that it depends on what kind of set you're on. If you're on a studio feature film, they're very, very strict. So I will, with my kids, like usually in the honey wagon, before they've gotten into any wardrobe, we'll maybe take a photo on the step outside the trailer and make sure the name is covered up and all of that. So you can, you're never going to really be able on those kind of things. And it kind of depends on your role. Like for Cruz on Step Up, since he's kind of a regular cast member, like they're more lenient about taking photos on set. But there's also a unit publicist that I could ask and say, hey, is it okay if we take this photo? Now they said yes, but it was likely that he was at the time a co-star. Like they usually let co-stars or the series regular, things like that, have a little more leniency than if you're just like a day player. So it depends. But for indie stuff, like usually they want the exposure. They're a little bit easier to talk to. And commercials are a little picky too. Commercials usually let you take the picture, but don't want you to post it till afterwards. Same may go for some of the TV and stuff. I just always, one rule of thumb is like, just wait until it comes out before you ever post anything, so you aren't going to get in trouble for breaking an NDA or anything like that. And if you're comfortable with the second AD or anybody that's on your set production wise, I always am writing down people's names and emails and stuff. So after the fact, I can reach out to them or get in contact with them to find out about things. So that's another thing I tell my clients to do, is to keep a journal. Because some productions don't let you keep the call sheet if it's super secretive. So sometimes I'll just jot down and memories of funny stories, different things. That's more of a press, my mind in the press related world, because a lot of times your project isn't going to come out for maybe a year, maybe two, whatever afterwards, and then you start getting all this press. So when I do social media or media training with people, and I'm like, so who was your favorite co-star? Tell me a funny story. And they're like, I can't remember. So we use that time to refresh, so that when those questions come up, you're not like looking like a deer in headlights, and you have names and last names and, you know, your director's name and those kind of things. So it's good on every production that you're on to jot down important names, directors, producers, whoever you can find. How do you suggest announcing you will be on something without stating the name so that people can watch it, since you can't post beforehand? It's I know it's hard to wait, but usually if it's something pretty major, you are given the okay of when to announce it. I usually, rule of thumb, especially if you're like a day player role or whatever, I always sometimes will just, like with Cruz and Jumanji, his scene got cut. But it's okay to post trailers and stuff. We never said he was in it. If people asked if he was in it, we just never responded to those comments. But if you're on a TV show or something, if you want to repost something that they've posted, a trailer or whatever, I mean, you're kind of giving like a subtle hint to that maybe you'll be in it. I wouldn't say yes or no if anybody comments on it, but yeah, that's one way to kind of subtly announce before you're able to like officially announce that you're doing something. I know it's super hard not to share when you're excited. You're welcome. Any others? It's so good to see everybody. Hi, Sarah. I miss your English accent. You guys don't have more questions? What are you guys thinking in your mind of ideas of things that you might be able to do, to sell, to coach?
I don't know, not right now.
Yes. Is it Sonia?
Yes.
You have beautiful makeup.
Oh,
You look beautiful. Maybe you can do some tutorials on quick and easy, fun makeup ideas.
Someone once suggested to me doing fashion. Like, I love clothes.
Yeah.
And I obviously love to go shopping way too much. And someone said, you know, when I decided to become an actor and was trying to lose my day job, they said, why don't you just, you know, feature yourself with clothes, things that you have that you can, you know, maybe become a
Stylist.
Exactly. Something like that, or be like a personal shopper for someone and really advertise where you shop and how you coordinate your clothes.
Yeah. I see people doing, I think what would be really cool for an actor who's into fashion to do would be like dressing the part, ideas and suggestions for how to suggest that you're a doctor or a lawyer, or they say you're auditioning for a clown, you don't put a clown costume on, but you dress colorfully, you dress in bright colors,
right?
Dress to suggest. That could be a really fun You could list like 20 different character roles that you've gotten, and this is how I would dress for them. You could do the quarantine closet clean out, where you're pulling out things that you aren't wearing anymore, pulling out things that you do and coming up with, as soon as quarantine's over, I can't wait to wear this, and show different outfits that you have on. That's a really great way to I would do those for a while and then go after brand ambassador opportunities with like a TJ Maxx or any of those, or even a local boutique. Like if you can get your following up and you say, hey, I'm a represented actor with a great engagement, they may give you an outfit a week to promote, or to show.
And that's really great that you mentioned that, because I know whenever I go shopping at places like Banana Republic and all of my favorite stores like Anthropologie, they'll always get my like email address and say, hey, you bought this a couple of days ago. How did you like it? Do you love it? Send us a picture of you wearing it.
Right.
You know, but I've never done it because, again, I don't know how to do media. And that's why I'm in here with you, because I know this is your area of expertise.
Right.
And so I wanted to figure out, like, again, I'm lost. I'm from the older generation, so I don't know how to promote myself on social media or do any of that stuff. But I think dressing up and showing what I've bought and how much I love it and what I have to say about it, and have pictures of me wearing it, that appeals to me.
Right. And the most important thing for that would be try to be as consistent as possible. So if you're going to do a fashion, whatever it is, and you post on Friday, try to post it every Friday. Try to do it in the same spot with the same lighting and the same camera and the same corner. So there's some consistency. So you're not like showing off an outfit and you're in your kitchen and then in your bed, like keep it
Yes.
the same every time. So that they know that when they see a post that they know that that's what it's going to be about. Yeah. And feel free to message me and I can help walk you through some other ideas, but that's a really good one.
Well, thank you so much. I will definitely do that because I'm definitely interested.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody coaching, singing lessons? Yeah, all the coaching stuff is a great way to make I have a friend who does consulting and coaching for businesses who makes about $10,000 a month. No joke. She does it all from her home through like FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, one-on-one. And if you are really talented at a specific niche, if you really have some so if you're a singer, if you have a degree in singing, or you can show some videos of you singing or other people that you've worked with or anything like that, people will pay $250 for an hour session, $100 an hour for a session. Do 4 or 5 a day, or more. There's people do like the coaching. When you have a service to offer, it's one of the easiest ways for actors, especially, to make money, because you can set your own hours. You can do it from home. You can do it from set. You could do it from like your honey wagon if you needed to, anywhere that had Wi-Fi. If you're traveling, you can do it. So even if you're not comfortable with like a one-on-one, if you have knowledge in an area, right now would be a great time. And you only have to do it once, where you create content. So if you created you're a chef and you created a cookbook or whatever, you create it one time, you use all the outlets that I told you about, all the social media platforms, you're emailing your friends, you're sending all this stuff out. You sell that one thing over and over and over and over again, maybe, and you do one thing every 6 months. And so you're rolling out a new thing every 6 months. So And then you would maybe have a platform that had 10 different options. So again, back to like the fashion thing, if you had how to book for, sign up for this webinar, it's $20, and each 1 hour class could be $20, but you're able to put that out to the world. It doesn't have to be just Atlanta. It could be an international whoever. So if you multiply that by 100 people buying it, whatever, but whatever coaching that you have, you have to put all of the branding stuff we talked about, the consistency, all of that comes just like with any other business. If you're a Starbucks and you have a new product, you're going to make a commercial about it. You're going to do a giveaway. You're going to do, all those different steps, you're going to do each time. So that's important. You can't just have a cooking book and put it out. Like you're going to want to do like Chef Megan does and do a week of free cooking lessons to bring awareness to it and then put it out. So, okay, I'm getting married and I made a post and tagged Bed Bath & Beyond. They asked to feature my post on their Insta. Is that something I should do? I'm scared because of terms and conditions. That is a good question. If it were one of my clients and they sent, I would probably message back for them and see if I could get something out of it. I've renegotiated stuff like that all the time where I say, they're like, hey, we wanted to post this or whatever. And I'm like, that's great. But how about in exchange, you send a $250 gift card for her wedding?
That sounds good.
Or, it can be negotiated. And that way you're at least getting paid. And a lot of times those type of, especially those big box places are willing to give you something. If it were, and I can help you with that, Samantha, if you would like, if you want to direct message me or email me or anything. I know a lot of people aren't quite sure what to say or how to handle it. I've got templates out the wazoo and emails I've sent for years that look professional, that are professional, and I can look at what your analytics are. I could run your engagement. I could put in the reasons why I think you should get paid something. And that's what I do for other people. I will say, hey, they have a 7% engagement rate, that blah, blah, blah. They're willing to do a story as well as a static post. This is what they would normally charge if it were another company. Their going rate for a post right now is $100. Since, all those different things we put in there to try to negotiate a better term for that. Because, I probably wouldn't do it for free.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are the fee rate? Excuse me. So my peers, if you shop around for PR services, one, there aren't very many entertainment PR firms in Atlanta because, in New York and LA, as you can imagine, there are a dime a dozen. Almost every actor has a publicist. They've been around for years, but there's a lot more people that are A-list celebrities or lead actors. Atlanta is moving in that direction, but we still have a lot of day player roles and things like that. So when I came up with a pricing strategy, I wanted it to reflect the market, and that I realized that a lot of people aren't quite at that upper echelon of their acting career and aren't going to have $1,200 a month to spend on social media. So we do it by an hourly rate. We have a 2-hour minimum. So it's $200 a month when you don't have anything going, when it's kind of your downtime and we're just working on social media, homework, branding. We do one-on-one media training calls and things like that. And then when you have a major booking, a red carpet where we're having to get gowns, or we're having to write press releases, where we're having to send it out on a PR wire to try to get you highlights and press and blah, blah. We typically jump it up to 4 hours a month. So that would be 400. If we had to do any international travel or different things like that, we only have a few clients that that's happening with, but then you're also getting paid a lot more at that point. So we negotiate that, but we keep our prices significantly lower than any other entertainment PR firm, because we also know that getting you guys press and highlighting even the smaller roles that you're doing is helping everybody. I have kids in the industry, so if I can get more productions to book Atlanta talent, that helps my kids too. So I'm always one of your biggest supporters, not just ECT, but the other agencies. I have actors with other agencies, and getting as much press as I can and highlights as I can. Yeah, you can email me anytime and kind of let me know where you are in your career. There's some people that I could probably, yeah, it's very individual on where you are and if you're ready for it. Most people are ready for it, but I have to know that they're willing to put in the time and the effort, because I can spit out homework and training at you every single day, and if you don't do it and you don't put the steps in, you're not going to see progression. And then those are the type of people that are like, this isn't worth it. I'm like, you didn't do any of the things that I told you to do. So you have to want to put in the work. So seeing if there's any other questions. I think I hit everybody's. Yeah, somebody asked about NDA. Yeah, that's just a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that they usually want those when they don't want you to say a word or you get sued. We don't want that. I think I've got one new message. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. Feel free to message me if you have an idea, big or small, that you're like, I don't know if I could make this work. What do you think? I'll help walk you through it. So I'm here to help. I hope this helped you guys a little bit, kind of learn a little bit about branding and marketing and that side of it. I tried to squeeze a whole lot into a really small time period. So hopefully I didn't go too fast, but
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Amanda. It was great.
You're welcome. If you have questions, I'm here for you guys. Just reach out. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will all get together for a big party soon after this is over. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Really
welcome,
appreciate it.
guys.
Thank you. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Have a great night.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Good night.
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 Okay.